Okay, so I was going to ask you, Mark, but clearly my question is already answered, that this beard is real, clearly.
Yeah.
How long did that take to grow that out?
I think by the time I was cast, it was end of February, and then we started filming early April, so 2 months, or March, about 2 months. For that beard, this has been ongoing.
Yeah, it's a bit longer
It does a weird
now.
thing, it keeps growing. It's a weird thing, yeah.
His wife hates it. Right.
You like
Yeah.
it though? You're keeping it?
I think the character's going to keep it. I think whether or not I like it is besides the point. I get paid for this, guys. I get paid to grow a beard. It's amazing. I have the best job in the world.
Okay, now there's obviously so much TV on these days. It's a very crowded landscape, and this is a truly original idea. So I guess this is probably a good question for Rick, since you co-created it with Dan Fogelman. How did this idea come about?
Well, originally I was thinking of it as a movie, and then Dan got wind of it and thought it would make a much better television show. And so we redeveloped it as a TV show, and he realized he had just signed a huge deal with Fox and realized that they had Major League Baseball. So we pitched it to them, and then this is the first TV series that we get the collaboration with Major League Baseball. It's just been an amazing experience. We got to shoot the entire pilot at Petco Park. We had the park entirely to ourselves. And these guys have been working with Major League players for a couple of months now, before the pilot started and since we shot the pilot. And the only real caveat was that everything had to be as authentic as possible. So that's the beard, because most catchers have those beards.
Right. Now I want to talk a bit about the MLB collaboration. As you said, it's the first show to be associated with them. It obviously brings the authenticity and also the fact that you can use the Padres name, logos, uniforms. So can you all just talk a bit about that and what elements are made possible with the MLB attached?
Well, as partners, we're very conscious also of their brand. So as far as like making sure the stories are strong baseball stories, we also have to have them understand that we need conflict. And so not everyone's going to necessarily get along. But we were provided with, as far as the authenticity, I'm telling you something already probably you just said, which is not only access to the uniforms, because at one point they even said, well, would you ever do this? Would you be open to doing this in a fictional world and coming up with those fictional New York Titans? And we said, no, it's got to feel real. So then we finally got the deal done. And not only do you get all the uniforms, but you get access to Joe Buck. You know, you get all these talking heads that fell right in line, and all those things just put you in the world. But we really went to great efforts to, and this is really speaks to the actors. They had to learn. Mark-Paul probably played baseball. I imagine Kylie, you didn't, but your father was a professional athlete, so you probably could speak better to that. But yeah, we're very conscious of keeping it real.
Will we see any other teams be mentioned, be playing, and also professional baseball players come onto the show?
Well, I think, Rick, I think the idea is that we're going to shoot at the All-Star game, and we're going to have access.
We're breaking news,
Actually,
people.
Kylie, you're not going. It's just Mark-Paul. No, no, we're going to do that. But we have to walk this line because our team is fictional, and they're mixing with the real characters. So we don't want to bump people. So it's still something that we're dealing with. But I think we're going to try to drop some cameos and things like that in.
Yeah, I think our Padres will largely be our guys, our fictional Padres, playing in the real world of Major League Baseball. So we'd love to get Ginny pitching against star players and Mark-Paul hitting against star pitchers, getting hit by a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. That's what we're going for.
Yes, that's the goal. Now, I have some more questions on that, but I want to let these guys talk, so we'll come back to the MLB portion of it. But for the two of you, just what was your first reaction when you read the script? Because it's pretty powerful.
It's really powerful. I was really moved by the script. It's incredibly empowering. For me, I was just really excited to play a complex character. I was in awe of how much resilience and focus this character had to have to achieve what she has. It's just, hold on, let me think for a little longer.
It means so much to me. I'm like,
Yeah, it's very rare that you get a script in television that you read and it just hits you and you want to be a part of it. From day one, reading the script, you cry when you read it. We cried when we saw the pilot. There's a level of we're so proud of the product and the people that we work with, the pedigree and the talent that they've put together and put on the page allows us to do the work that you saw. But yeah, it's an amazing thing to be a part of something that from start to finish it's turned out exactly how you hoped it would. But to play these characters and to work alongside the cast has been amazing. She still gets me every time. I told her we were watching upstairs. I said she gets me every time she's sitting on that curb at the end of the film, and she just saw her dad, and yeah, I know. Well, it still hits us, but it's just that nice little push in. She's like, yeah, my dad died, you know. But it's that push in. And there's so many elements of this story that just hit home, especially someone who has 2 daughters. This means a lot. But yeah, you could talk forever. Did I give you enough time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also loved the fact that Ginny isn't a superhero. She's a regular person who just has a lot of focus, and she's not forgoing her dreams. And I think that that's a really important thing for our younger generation and people even whatever generation to remember that we have to continue to go for our dreams. And this is a story about self-belief and just, I guess I need another moment to think again. What the hell is happening with me?
Hey, one thing, Elizabeth, if I would be remiss if we didn't mention Dan Fogelman, who wrote it with Rick, and Paris Barkley, who directed it, to help deliver those moments you talked about. Too.
And by the way, Kevin came on and was very involved in the pilot as well and did an amazing job. One quick thing, I'm hoping we're catching you all in time, in case any of you are tweeting right now. We really hope that this was a gift that, for us that we got to show this here, but we're really protective of the ending, and we'd very much like to have no spoilers and trust you all, so thank you very much.
I think I saw a couple people go, uh-oh, too late.
I hope not.
Delete those tweets, everybody. Okay, so with that said, no spoilers, but let's talk about that twist. I certainly did not see it coming. For Mark and Kylie, I guess, what was your reaction when you read that? And then for Rick, how did that come about? You're just tugging on our heartstrings here.
I read the script. I mean, like I said, it was a great script. You're reading it. It's a Dan Fogelman, Rick Singer script, and you're reading it going, this is absolutely amazing. And then that last part, you're like, oh, shit. Okay. I'm done. Yeah. Close the script. I want on. How do I get on this?
Yeah. Just a lot of tears. I cried a lot. Every time I read the script, because I read the script probably about 50 times, and every time it got me. This is a show with a lot of heart, and I think that's what we need to see in TV and films. I mean, it's so unique, and it's so riveting, and we just want to see people, you know? We want to see real human beings living in this imaginary circumstance, and I think that we do a really good job at that. We really put our hearts in this, and it means a lot to us, and I'm glad you guys liked it.
Hey, guys, you can tweet. You saw the first moment that I started holding a mic now for Kylie.
You totally did! And he's Zach Morris. I should be holding it for him.
Just saying. You guys were the witness to that. When it all started. When did it go to her head?
I'm already
Austin, 2016.
Co-star and assistant. You know, it's a new role.
I like how I'm not giving up my mic, and no one wants to talk to me. Here, I should just give you this. And Rick and I can share.
Yeah, we can share. Producer's mic.
Okay, well,
Sorry.
I was going to say, just about the twist at the end, how does that affect the show going forward? How much more will we see of her father? How many flashbacks?
Well, first, to start...
God, I hope we see a lot of them. How amazing was Michael Beach?
Beach.
I
Give
mean,
it up for him. He was unbelievable.
Amazing. By the way, the whole entire cast, I mean, Mark Consuelos and Ali Larder and Mo McRae, we really have a hugely talented cast, so I'm so proud to be, but anyway, sorry.
Dan Lauria, Bob Balaban, they're all incredible. And Michael Beach, I will say, he came to set first day, and all he had was that scene where he's catching her under the tunnel and just had the word again. That's all he had to say. And just in one word, I was like, oh, that whole performance is right there. That's it. He's unbelievable. So as far as the ending goes, when I was developing this with Tony Bill, who's one of our executive producers, as a movie, it was not in there. And then when Dan took it on, it's really a testament to his genius that he just said, we need something at the end that's really, it can't just be, oh, she does well. Da, da. And so we really racked our brains hard to sort of see, and at the core of the pilot, obviously, is this relationship, this lifelong relationship between Ginny and her father. And so we came up with it, and it really just, all of a sudden, we're like, oh yeah, that's great. So it's, and I think going forward, yes, we definitely want to see Michael Beach. I don't think we're going to do the talking to the father's ghost every week, but we do like the flashback as a storytelling technique, and seeing Ginny and our other characters and their stories and their past to inform their present, I think. And so we'll definitely have Michael back.
How cute were the young Ginnies? Yes. Oh my God, they're so cute. My voice is loud enough.
Okay, now maybe this question is for Kevin, I'm not sure, but where does the story go forward? Obviously the pilot, we see the first time she steps onto that field. How much of the series will be on the field with games? How much will it be about relationships and character and their personal life, maybe?
That's a good question, Elizabeth. And actually, it's almost like I was watching and thinking, because we're wrestling, we're never going to have as much baseball as we have in the pilot. It's just production-wise too difficult to do. But we want to have it because it's important to the show. And there's, when you're trying to, we shoot our show in 8 days, and we want to be able to balance it evenly. But so we also need to move forward with our character. And of course, she's the most famous woman in maybe the world, certainly in the country at the time. And yet she's a 500 pitcher. I mean, she's really just trying to hold on to her job. She's trying to, in some ways, and we're breaking the story now for the second episode, to be one of the boys, when in fact she's really not, in the best possible way. And sometimes there'll be a social issue that will involve women, and people are going to want her opinion. And so we have to deal with that, and yet she wants to keep a low profile. All those things going forward. Mark-Paul's character is coming to the end of his career. For a catcher at 35, that's the end. Mark-Paul's character.
Not for several seasons.
If things don't go well, maybe
Not for several
Mark-Paul's career.
seasons, though, right? I mean, I get to be on.
Yes, of
okay.
course. But
So let me taste a little success, guys. Let me just a little bit.
We may Ned Stark your ass, so just be. And Ginny's is just starting, so you have this relationship between the two that they're both at forks in their careers, and they're both going ways that could, be fun to track. So we're doing that. Not to mention it's very much an ensemble. There's so many wonderful actors, like they said. One of the deepest benches of actors I've ever had the pleasure to work with. They're really good. So it's really going home with them, and seeing life and a public life too, and the private life.
And one of the things, Kevin spent many seasons on The West Wing. He's too modest to say that, but we.
And Kevin did 4 years of Franklin and Bash,
Absolutely.
which is
With
even
Mark
more
Paul.
important. There, see, bigger hand
You're
clap there.
absolutely
Yeah. West Wing, Franklin and Bash. I got you.
But we like the template of sort of being a fly on the wall in these extraordinary worlds and seeing how these people under enormous pressure respond and how it affects their personal lives. And Ginny really is in a unique situation. It's hard enough to be a Major League Baseball player and stay in the major leagues, but on top of it, she's, the face of a gender and all of the attention and media attention. We were saying it's like Jackie Robinson debuting with real-time social media, and what that would be like, and just the enormous, enormous visibility and everybody hanging on her every word, and what that would do. And then again, going home with all of them, and we do have an amazing ensemble, and we want to explore all of their lives, past and present.
Now, this is obviously a fictional story, but do you think this is something that we can see in the near future? We're living in a world where we may have the first female president, so.
I think it's only a matter of time before we see a woman on the mound 100%. That's going to be happening very soon. Because if I can pitch kind of well.
No, you pitch very well. She's amazing. It's funny, when we were shooting it, people would come up, and they go, "What are you doing?" We're doing this story about the first female pitcher in the major leagues. And more than one person said, "Oh, is it a true story?" That it's actually now, thanks to Mo Davis and others, that it's not like incredibly possible that in people's minds that it could actually come, because there's so many great female athletes. So there are, I believe, a couple minor league female players independently. So yeah, I think you may see it happen.
All right, now let's talk about this one. She's fantastic. Obviously, lots going into this role. Not only are you acting and taking on a new part, but you had to learn to play baseball.
Yeah.
So first, let's start with Kevin and Rick. What was it about Kylie that she was your girl? And by the way, she was one of Variety's 10 stars to watch, so congratulations on that. Yeah.
That's why I was moving her mic.
Stop.
Well, Dan and I went through this exhaustive search, and then Kevin came in as well, and we were all sort of beating our heads against the wall, thinking, "Hey, are we actually going to find someone who's both an amazing actress and is believable?" And we really were up against it and did not think, and we wanted to cast the role early so she could start training, into, a couple of months before the pilot. And it was nerve-wracking, very nerve-wracking. And then Kylie walked in, and it was just boom. Oh my God! Thank God, there she is. This is her. She's just a star. She's just amazing, and she's an amazing actress. And her, I think she mentioned this, but her father was a professional soccer player. Her brother is a professional soccer player. So she just got it in a way that's just sort of embedded, and the way she carried herself, and so that was just remarkable. And I'll say the same thing for Mark-Paul. Mike Lawson was a very difficult part to cast as well, and we were really up against it, and I'll let Kevin speak to this, because he worked with Mark-Paul and knew him very well, and was sort of knew that he would be right for it, but didn't want to impose him. But from my perspective, I really didn't think we were going to find him in the same thing. Mark-Paul walked in, and huge sigh of relief, because it was like, oh, that's the guy. Okay, good, we're cast. Our two leads are cast, good. But they're both amazing, and they really have thrown themselves into the baseball of it. They've been hounding our professionals round the clock to the point where they call us and say, we got to protect them. These guys are going to work too hard, and they're going to throw their arms out.
Didn't you, I believe you were cast without a script, is that correct?
Pardon?
There was no script when you committed
No,
the project,
two
which is
scenes.
unheard of. I mean,
Two
that's a
little
leap of
scenes.
faith for you
Yeah.
to go, all right, I don't know what the script might suck, but I'm gonna do this. And so that speaks to your faith in the project.
And the two scenes that we gave you were the scene where they slap each other's asses at the beginning.
Yeah, the slap ass scene.
And
And then the scene between Michael Beach and younger Ginny.
Yes.
I actually told him the story. That was the
Exactly.
scene. Yeah.
There was a monologue about her talking about what it was like to stand there and watch Willie get hit, and what it was like from her perspective. And Kylie just nailed it. So we were done. It was like, okay, we didn't tell her, but we knew we were done.
Now, Mark-Paul, you're so fantastic, and this is a very different role for you. I'm wondering, what sort of research did you do? Did you talk to, which baseball players did you talk to, I guess?
Oh, sorry.
You want to hold it? So,
Fair game.
I looked at David Ross from the Cubbies, and yeah, we got a Cub fan. Like, you guys are in first place. You guys have the best record. Take it easy, right? Yeah? No? Did I get it? Yeah. Okay. Buster Posey was another one. Just looking at him and the way that he conducts himself behind the plate. Of course, the look of Derek Norris, although I have a ways to go. But basically, just watching a lot of television, we would pull clips off of YouTube and send it to each other. Momo Cray, who plays the outfielder, the great scene that we have in the bar, he plays Blip. Him and I are constantly sending each other Instagrams of other baseball players and their plays, and we're on YouTube finding things, and we're just constantly researching. I'm the one that actually called Kevin during our off season, basically between the pilot and when we're filming, and I said, you know, I want to grab my gear that is in the Fox storage on the lot. You know, because after you film something, they put all these props in a big warehouse, and they just sit there regardless if you get picked up or not. So I asked if I could get my gear so I can continue training, and just started working at a local high school and started working the bullpen there, just to stay fresh and to get better, because there were things I wasn't happy with watching it that I said, you know, I want to work on some things. But
You worked with professionals. I mean, there's people that worked with you.
well, we worked on professionals during the pilot. Yeah, Greg Olson retired from the Dodgers 15 years as a major league pitcher. He was Kylie's coach. Royce Clayton, very extensive career. He was my batting coach. So we had some great pedigree, and hopefully that continues with people that, you know, they see this pilot and now they want to kind of get on board. So it'd be awesome.
Now I want to talk about your training, but first you told me a cute story that when Mark-Paul walked into the audition room, you wanted to be there. What was your reaction? Yep.
Well, my reaction was Saved by the Bell. Yeah, that was cool. I got to. I really wanted to make sure that I was a part of the audition process for all the other characters, and.
One of the most awkward things I do.
I know.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's like we haven't met each other. We're like, hey, how you doing? I'm fighting for the role. She already has the role. So it's like this weird thing. It's like she may never see me again, or she may be working with me for hopefully for every day. But we walk in. It's like, hey, hi, good. Yeah. Is it okay that I slap your ass?
Yeah, he had to actually. Actually, I was like, you know, you can do it if you want. I'm not gonna. Can I
Dreaming
slap
of this
yours?
day forever.
I said the same thing when I met Rick.
What'd you say?
I said the same thing when I met Rick. I'm not going to repeat my joke.
But it's such an awkward thing to, like, when you meet somebody, you know, in a room, it's like.
With that scene,
Yeah, with
getting
that scene.
physical.
Getting physical, but yeah. And it was like we had to kind of do it a couple times before we got our groove going, right? We had.
You were pushing it.
Tough job. Someone's got to do it, right? Okay, now, again, no spoilers, but I have to ask, is there possibly going to be a romance between these two?
I think the pilot sort of alludes to that.
There's a chemistry. Yeah. That, you know, we'll see down the road. It's certainly nothing we've committed to.
We don't want to like shove
wanna
it down
get-
people's throats. We want it to
Yeah,
happen
exactly.
organically, obviously.
No, I think it's undeniable, but I also think there's a reality to the fact that the first female major leaguer and the captain of the team, they would, for their own reasons, each of them have reasons why that's the last person in the world that they would ever want to get involved with. So it's a nice thing where you have a built-in obstacle for, you know, it's just, it may have happened with teammates before, but we wouldn't know about it. But in this situation, there's definitely, it'll be a slow burn.
Okay, now, Kylie, let's talk a bit about your training.
Yeah.
I know it was months and months. You did a lot of boxing.
Yeah,
pitching.
for 2 months, I 3 days a week was working with our baseball trainers, and that consisted of really getting the mechanics down. So dry mechanics first, making sure I looked like I could throw, and then long tossing, getting my arm strength up. Watching a lot of baseball was part of it. Also, 3 days a week working with a boxing trainer just to get my body right and tight. And
I can attest to that.
yeah. Oh, that's
Real tight.
oh my gosh, what is this turning into?
Turning into a harassment lawsuit. That's what it's turning into.
I was just
Don't
in
do
character,
that.
guys. I was just in character. That was Mike Lawson talking. That wasn't me.
Yeah, so for 2 months, just really grinding. Yeah.
Was there any part of you that was hesitant about this role, knowing that you would have to become a pitcher?
Not at all. No, it felt right. It felt pocket for me, honestly. It just, everything came together really well, and it's an important message, and it was challenging, but I mean, I think challenges are good. Yeah.
Now, why the Padres for these two guys?
Let's see, mid-season market. It was access to the stadium. MLB kind of like suggested we go there. I don't think there was any creative choice, except for the fact that it was close to LA, which helped a lot. But it's funny, we talked about, I remember very early, I'm a big San Francisco Giants fan, and I remember thinking, we go to San Francisco and shoot. And then they said, no, we'll do it in San Diego, which made the most sense. But what we want to do in success, and I hope that you guys like the baseball component, because that's the stuff that we keep wrestling with, is in success, we'd like to take the show to Wrigley Field, take the show to Boston, let other people, Texas, let other people get to enjoy the show, and that's something we want to do the first season, so that should be fun.
Also, that stadium, I've gone to a couple games since then. That stadium is beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful stadium.
It really is.
San Diego, the geography of it, being so close to LA, but also the beach, the sort of culture in San Diego.
Yeah.
I would imagine it gives us.
great to us, too.
The
They were
Padres were great,
fantastic,
and
yeah.
the organization. They're still great to us.
Yeah.
All right, now we're about to open it up to audience questions, but right
Yay.
before that, let's go down the line, say your favorite team. Maybe some rivalries will pop up here.
Are we supposed to say Padres?
No. You could.
Well, Minnesota Twins for me. Minnesota reppin'.
I grew up in
got you
LA,
there.
so I kind of have to say Dodgers, but Padres are a close second right now. But I have to say Dodgers.
Publicly, Padres. Privately, New York Yankees.
Whoa,
I already tipped my hand, the Giants, but I have to say, yeah, I have to say, you find yourself following the Padres, and yeah. Yeah.
It's like, we
Yeah.
were at the game recently, and we were not good omens.
Well,
Game. Oh.
we were going to shoot. We were going to shoot the opening day. We had planned. They were so. The Padre management said, "All right, you guys can run on the field with the team on opening day." And at the very last second, the players' union, and we totally understood this. Just they have to focus on the game. First day of the season, everyone's in first place, right? And at the last minute, it got canceled. And I remember really disappointed. And then the Padres got off to, unfortunately, a very lousy start. And I'm thinking, thank God we didn't run on the field, because they would have blamed us.
Sure, they lost like 15-0, and
yeah,
they
we-
totally would have blamed us.
Damn right.
All right, well, I think we can open it up to audience questions. I see a hand right there, though. Yes, waving. Yes.
And yeah, like you said, I'll hold the mic for you.
Okay, so what's the question? Sorry, you want to know just how I feel that it would affect young women? I think that they're going to feel empowered watching it. I think that for me, it's just because something hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't do it. And I think it's going to give them strength, and it's really inspiring to see a woman. Also, I'm a woman of color as well, so it's going to. It just. I was like trying to think.
I want to know if you felt pressure also.
If I felt, I mean, I feel pressure right now, even trying to come up with the answers, because it means so much to me. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, Kylie, just say the right things, because it means so much. I think Ginny feels pressure. I feel pressure to deliver the message. But I think it's going to be really important. This is the type of television that needs to be out, things that move people and make people feel things and empower. Yeah.
If I could say one thing about that, because I have 2 young daughters, is, and I think it's a testament to the strength of the show, is that I want my daughters to dream, but I also want them to dream in a realistic manner. And she had a dream, but her father had to be realistic with her and say, you're not going to have the velocity of these men, of the pitchers, so we're not going to work on that fastball. We're going to find another way to get you into the majors, which I think is really a great thing to tell my daughters is, yes, have that dream, but let's find the right path for you to make that dream attainable. But I think this is a super powerful vehicle for young women to watch.
I just want to counter that and tell you that I have 2 young boys, and I'm glad that they're going to grow up being able to see something.
I agree.
Yes,
I agree.
definitely. Yeah. No, I haven't. I hope to. Oh my goodness, how great would that be? Yeah, let's get that going.
We played briefly with the idea of casting her as a young Ginny, but the girl that we cast was just so unbelievable, and we didn't even know if Monet was available. But we knew she could pitch at least. I just want to say one thing about the young girl also. As far as the female empowerment goes, I think the idea we had talked about early on that some young girl could be sitting in her living room watching this and use it as inspiration that 10 years from now, 15 years from now, she ends up pitching in the major leagues because she saw this show was an idea that obviously we thought would be amazing. But also, again, towards what Mark-Paul was saying, it's not just about whether you can make the major leagues. It's whatever goal you're going for. Dream big and go for it. And as he said, find your way there.
And
However
work
it has
hard. That's the other thing. You have the spirit, have the heart, but you have to work hard to attain what you want. And I think that's important for young kids to see too, especially this generation where it's kind of all about getting things quickly. I think we need to be reminded that you need to work hard to attain things. Absolutely. The differences. Well, Lacey didn't play baseball. I think there's a lot more similarities. I tend to gravitate towards strong women, and I tend to gravitate towards women who are important. So I would say that there's more similarities than differences, actually. Yeah. Confident.
Progressing, the beard's going to keep growing. She's a huge fan of it. You and my wife. What was the first part of the question? Oh, my favorite part. I get to play baseball. I mean, this is crazy. This is a dream job. Not only am I working on a show that has amazing dialogue that we get to say thanks to these guys, but the fact that I get to play a major league ball player and surround ourselves with major leaguers, and all day we're hanging out on the field, tossing the ball around and hitting, and we're like, we're like big kids. It's an actor's dream to play someone, to be every actor wants to be an athlete. Every athlete wants to be an actor or a rock star. Every rock star wants to be an actor. I mean, this is by far the best job I've had so far, because it has everything. I get to do everything.
With a powerful message. That's the
Yeah, there's that too, but it's like I get to be a ball player.
You're such a dude.
Anyone else?
She's gonna bat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I'm hoping to. Got to get in those batting cages, though.
Well, presumably she probably batted in the first game. We just didn't see it, but we want to make more of a meal of it in the show, especially if she threw at somebody and then somebody might want to throw at her.
Yes.
But you know what?
If Major League Baseball lets us do that.
You're gonna be ready though.
Ready?
This girl's work ethic is amazing, and just knowing she's gonna crush it. She's really
What am I going to crush? The ball?
sure. No, you're gonna be great. You're gonna be great.
Thank you.
I know she's worried about how it's all about, because for us we just want to look as authentic as possible, and
Right.
that's the reason why during the off season we were going out personally, looking to get better. But you'll be ready. We have 2 months before we actually start filming. We start going into training next week, I believe, alongside the training that we've been doing personally. So.
But I actually, while shooting, sort of injured my elbow because pitchers, if you guys know, they don't typically pitch consecutively. So I've kind of had to take a break, so now I'm getting back into the training right now. And
What?
you guys kind of knew that. No, that's why I took a break. It's no, it's good now. It's good now.
By the way, we cut a scene out of the pilot where Mark-Paul hits a rocket to right center field.
what
and he's
happened to
got
that?
Well, we were long.
Yeah, we were really
but
long.
he's got an amazing swing, so we'll put that in the next episode.
I have a question for Kevin. So you've showrun a lot of shows. Was it more complex dealing with MLB?
Not yet. I mean, it's a good question because this is another layer of approval on stories that we have to deal with. But I have to say, Nick Trotta and Robin Jaffe, who are in charge of licensing at MLB, have been wonderful partners, been very collaborative, and they get it, because we talked about this, that we need conflict, it's a drama. And there are certain third rail subjects in Major League Baseball they don't want to talk about, and we respect that. But this is also the sport that broke the color barrier, one of the first professional sports to do it, or the first professional sport to do it. So I'd like that spirit, hopefully, in success, will be able to tackle things that other sports always try to run away from. It gives MLB a chance to get in front of certain issues, but I say this hoping that we get to do that. But it's going to be different. I've never done anything like this. With West Wing, you had your fictional White House, and it's government, so you can do whatever you want. But this will be a challenge, but I'm looking forward to it. They seem to be great so far.
You guys, I'm so sorry, but we are out of time.
No
so
way.
I know. Thank you guys so much, though. This was so much fun.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you all. Thank you.
No, I'm saying thank you to them. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.